With static web pages, we can bring style to our Pico W project when served from the Mongoose Web Server. Let's explore. Hi, I'm John, your concierge to the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico, Pico 2, robotics, IoT and other fun tech. If that sounds like your kind of adventure, then please subscribe and join the community. In this tutorial, I'm going to guide you step by step to transform your Raspberry Pi Pico W into a fully functional web server using the Mongoose library. And I've looked at Mongoose before, but obviously I've jumped through things a little bit too quickly because I've had a few questions from people on this one. So I thought we'd go back a little step and talk about those static pages. So in this time, I'm going to focus on the basics of sharing static web pages through Mongoose, building an embedded file system, if you like. If this video helps you out on your projects, please consider dropping me a tip using that super thanks button below the video, or alternatively, there's a payment link in the description. It helps me support the channel and keeps me off the streets, really. So let's get going. Now, I've looked at Mongoose before, but in this video, I want to really focus on the specifics of Mongoose as a web server. And what do I mean by a web server? Well, something that responds to HTTP requests coming from a client and gives back a response. And in this example, that's going to be a web page. Now, Mongoose is licensed under GPL version 2 license, or you can actually license it commercially from the guys as well. Just be aware of those licenses, they do have implications. Mongoose will run on the Pico W or the Pico 2W, and some of my other examples have been on the Pico 2W, but today we're going to run this on a Pico W. And previously I've looked at Mongoose truly as a web server and built some demos with that, perhaps a little bit more complicated than I should have, but hey, that's where I go. I've also looked at their GUI builder, so we don't have to write our own web pages. We can actually use their GUI builder to write those web pages for us, and indeed write web services underneath them to actually link back into our application. And that's really quite useful. That's quite a good video. Now, web services are really what I do to get data out of Pico Ws quite a bit. And I've got a couple of videos showing web services and how I'm exposing that sort of data. And of course, we don't have to just connect Mongoose to the access point and to our Wi-Fi around us. We can actually make a Pico W or a Pico 2W launch its own Wi-Fi access point and be an access point of its own. That's really useful for setting up embedded systems. And I've got a video talking about that too. In this video, I'm going to run Mongoose on a Pico W. And I'm going to use it to hold a static set of files of web pages. And those web pages are then going to be issued to a client. So those web pages, and I'm going to have multiple of them because I've been asked that as a question. So we're going to place 3 pages there. Actually, I'm going to put an image in there as well. So then I'm going to run the Mongoose and configure it to pick up all of that. And I'm going to do that in 2 modes. I'm going to do that bare metal using the Pico SDK, and also I'll have an example on the repo doing that using FreeRTOS. In the FreeRTOS version, it will actually pick up the Pico SDK's version of LWIP, so its IP stack and its own drivers. So the versions are really quite important when you're playing with FreeRTOS and with Mongoose. So please do not just use the head of the repo from these. That will potentially get you into trouble. I would suggest always jumping to a tagged labeled version. And the tagged label versions I'm going to use, you can move to using the git checkout function. Might be worth looking that up. So for Mongoose, I'm going to run on version 7.19. And for FreeRTOS, I'm going to work on version 11.20. And these are both the latest versions that are published and released at the time of going to press. Oh, and I suppose I ought to tell you as well which Pico SDK version I'm on. Well, I'm on 220. Okay, so let's talk about the file system first. Those 3 static web pages that I want to actually be embedded in my application. And I'm actually going to place them in my project folder, and I'm going to put them in a folder called web. And that's where I'm going to store all of my web assets that I want to actually be issued by our web server. So let's start having a look at the static bare metal project that I've got here and the web folder, because that's where I'm going to put all of these web assets. And you can see in here we've got 3 HTML files. Index.html, well, that's the one that will open first if you don't actually specify any other file. And basically that's going to just say, hello world, this is the test, and give you a link or 2 links, link 1 or link 2, to go to the other pages. Page 1 is a little bit more complicated because I decided to put some JavaScript and animation and show you could do some really other clever things on there. Whereas 2 is more of just a very simple page, but putting an image on there. And yes, I've put an image on here too. So there's quite a lot of stuff on here. But of course, now we need to convert those files into this file system. And that's the next thing I'm going to try and do. So we want to take our web pages and actually make them part of our embedded code that's going to run for Mongoose. And to do that, we're going to use a utility called Pack, which is going to basically take all those files and create them as a single C file, which is then going to put that data into flash memory. Now, Pack has been provided for you by Mongoose. It's in the folder test, and you'll see there's a pack.c file in there. And you can make it using the make file that's in there as well. So you should be able to issue the command make pack. That utility then, anything that is on the command line is then created as part of that packed file system. So you see if I run .pack web /star, that will pick up all of the files in that folder and create a file system.c file with those files in them. So I'm in a little terminal session here on the command line, and I'm going to go into my library within our repo, and we've got Mongoose in there as a library, and I'm going to go into that Mongoose folder and then into test in there. And we can see that there is a file called pack.c in there, and basically that is the program we're going to use to convert that file system into a C program that we can actually load in. So I'm going to build that using the command make pack, and it's going to tell me it's up to date because I've already done that. Now you should be able to do that. Actually, let's destroy pack and then we'll redo it actually, just so you can see actually I can make it and it will build. Now that should certainly work on anyone with a Mac like me. It should work on anyone who's got a Linux setup. Windows, it's been a while since I've touched Windows, so I can't remember whether that might work or not. You might have more of a challenge on Windows, but for other ones, that's how you generate that pack command that you're going to use to do this. So now if we go back into our experiment project, so we're going to go into static bare metal. So there I've got my web. So now I'm going to run that pack utility. So there it is. I'm going to run pack. I'm going to give it all of those web files, and indeed there's an image in there as well, so I'm going to give it those to make sure that it's got all of those files. Now I was having a little bit of trouble redirecting it properly, something in the latest version of macOS security, so I'm going to use T. So I'm basically going to pipe the output of this, which is going to be the actual C program, into T, and then I use T to write it into the file system.c file, fs.c. And it should all spool up the screen there. So you've got all of the source code, which is basically just encoding all of that file system and all of those files into data that is going to be held in Flash. So now we just need to configure Mongoose so that it can actually serve those file system files and write our app to do that. So let's have a look at that. So how are we setting up Mongoose to work? Well, the project really, I guess the place to start is to look at make and make list file. The top level CMake for list file. And we can see that this is a Pico W project and that I'm going to include a library for CMake called Mongoose. And that's where I've defined how to get things to work. I'm using a Mongoose path there because I placed the Mongoose library in a shared space within this repo. So the mongoose.cmake is actually going to define a target library called Mongoose, and it's going to basically just compile the mongoose.c file, which is all you need in there, and it's got all of the dependencies in there. It will also make reference to a Mongoose port location here, where it's going to get include files from. And that's, I guess, the really important bit that's in here, because that's where actually Mongoose gets configured. So if we have a look in port, and here we go, we can see that this is defining what I want to do to run this in a bare metal mode. So in bare metal mode, I'm not going to use the Pico's SDK's default LWIP IP stack. I'm instead going to use Mongoose's own IP stack. I'm going to use a packed file system, but we've just generated that, so you knew I was going to use that. We're on a Pico SDK architecture, of course. We want to enable Mongoose's TCP IP stack. We want to enable their driver for the Pico W, and yes, that means it's Wi-Fi, so we want the Wi-Fi driver too. And we're going to change the Mongoose's IO size to make it a little bit bigger, just so that we've got enough room to really operate this. And finally, I'm going to define some functions here which I need in order to pass credentials in for the connecting to the Wi-Fi. So what's in the source folder? Well, we've got our main program, our file system description that we've generated, the fs.c, and we've got, of course, our CMake. Our CMake's not really got anything particularly significant in there. We've got our main and our fs.c that we're going to compile. I've changed the pins that this is going to for standard IO over UART, so I can see the output if I wish to do so. And finally, there is a trick in here that I'm passing in Wi-Fi credentials, because I don't embed my Wi-Fi credentials in my C code or indeed in my CMake file. The approach I take in order to pass these things in is I place them in the environmental variables on my build host on my Mac, and then it picks them up via this command here. So it's picking them up from an environmental variable, so they're defined in my .z profiles. You can do the same trick on Windows or Linux. That should always work as a possibility, and I like that as a safe approach to handle environmental variables without accidentally placing these secure credentials into things like GitHub, where they're kind of exposed. So let's have a look at main. So what's main doing? Right, well, let's start with the main program. Firstly, let's initialize the standard IO as always, and then really what we're going to do is we're going to initialize Mongoose, and then we're going to run the loop just polling Mongoose. I'm also kicking off a timer there. That timer is basically just going to blink an LED, so I'm not going to talk about that one very much. So when we initialize Mongoose, what we basically need to do is set up a variable called mgr, which I've actually placed as a global variable in this file. It's defined right up the top here, just so everything's got access to it, which made a little bit more sense when I was writing this. And we need to define what ports and how our Mongoose is listening. So we want it to listen to a port 80 and to accept requests from everywhere. And when it gets those requests, it's actually going to call a handler function. So the definition of what to listen to is being defined by that description up the top there. So really everything is actually going to be in that function. We talked about poll, but my Mongoose poll, but that's just calling another poll function. It's just something we need to do regularly in order that Mongoose can actually update what's going on. So the event handler, what's in the event handler? So this is really where all of the magic happens. And what we're basically going to do, and I will skip talking about that first if statement case there, because that's just hard coding in some sort of web service response style behavior. The actual response to get a web page up, or all of our web pages up that we've actually written as static web pages, is this code in here. So what we're basically saying is, if you've got a HTTP message request, then we can create this option to say, well, actually that's going to be served from the directory / web within our file system object, which was our packed file system, and that's a well-known public ID there that we have available to us from mongoose.h. Then we can actually run up this service here to say, basically serve whatever that request is from that directory. And that's all we need to do in order to actually publish static web pages and have them delivered. So really actually very easy to set up and run. So demo time, and I'm basically just going to connect to my Pico W by the IP address, and there we've got our index file with our 2 links available to us. Clicking on link 1, we go, and there's a wonderful animated JavaScript. Now, who'd think that something quite like that could come off of a Pico W? But it's just a small JavaScript file, so nice and easy. Let's jump back and we'll go to link 2. Link 2 is of course just a nice image of our Pico W. I've scaled that down a bit, which is why it's not wonderfulest quality. And there we go. So that's a demo of what's coming off of our Pico W. Static web pages are really useful. I use them as the basis of most of my web user interfaces. The dynamic control then I add into these pages by pulling web services. You can see this architecture in a number of my other Mongoose videos on the channel. If this video helps you out or sparks ideas for your own projects, then please consider dropping me a tip using the super thanks button below the video, or alternatively there's a payment link in the description. I'm saving these up to get myself over to the open source conference in San Francisco in 2026 with the other YouTubers. Every contribution brings me one step closer, and I'd love to meet you all there. So this video ran Mongoose on a Pico W. I've also done this on the Pico 2W. Why not check out those videos now?